Okay, how's everyone doing today? Looks like YouTube is live and Twitch is also live. There we go. Teresa's seen I'm live. No. I just put out the notifications, so give me just a moment here. I'm just seeing what Teresa's reaction is here. Okay. Mute that. Let me get my game audio put back up. Mr. Flawless, Mac, Thomas, Lord Bane, how's it going? Yeah, so after my stream earlier today, I had a really bad headache and popped some Tylenol. Ended up taking a nap shortly after my stream earlier for a good 4 to 5 hours. As some of you know, been helping deal with a newborn nephew, and that screwed up the sleep schedule a little bit. So there's definitely been a little bit of catch up sleep happening at points. That fuzz is looking good. I need to cut my hair. It's really bad. Really bad. Took a shower before the stream this morning, but the issue is if there's any when my hair gets to this point and a couple hours goes between me taking a shower and doing the stream, if I take my headphones on and off a couple times, my hair is just so damn curly that it can be a bit rough. And with me taking that nap there, that certainly didn't help. Hyper, intriguing. Okay, everything should be back on. Waldo. What's annoying is, you know, our temps right now here in Iowa are a little bit better. It is 65 out. 65 out here right now. But in here in this room, with me having, I've got the air conditioner on. So the rest of the house is cool, but this room, because the computer, I don't know if there it goes. This room is miserable. I've got the window open right now, fan on in it. Master Dude, good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Infusion noises? I know. Better call Scotty. Purge plasma conduits. Good morning from the Netherlands. Sorry, Bomba. I feel your pain. I'm currently trying to shift sleep schedules from an overnight DEA contract to a normal sleep schedule. 3 a.m. corporate meetings with people that barely speak English is brutal. Yeah, so I look a bit scuffed right now. It's because this room. You know, let me. So right now it's in freedom units. 84.6. If I convert that to the terrible unit Celsius, 29.2 in here. Just too damn warm. I mean, aside from the temperature doing good, just took the dog out for a walk. I mean, it's like I said, it's cool outside. Just not in here. Okay, Kronos Magnus asked, forgot to send you a question for the monthly Q&A. Was about comparing Juggernauts. Does the VOD War fare better than the others? It's the spec combo. The Miracle Worker primary, Intel secondary is just really potent for energy weapon builds. So in the context of the other juggernauts that we have, it does perform better. Yeah, I've got the window open. There's a window open with that fan on, or with a fan on in it. Oh, the nephew's doing good. Yeah, my sleep schedule, the issue naturally for me is I always, if I just let it go naturally, I will always shift towards a night schedule. I'm just a night person. Um, Waldo with the Eisenberg, you know, we've talked about GPL. You know, they could toss it in there for just a small amount of GPL, and I think that'd be sufficient. Like have it cost 1 GPL. There's there's no reason people can't afford 1 GPL. OSS, yes, OSS is what Intel provides, and there's also some good uncons with Intel. Right now, it is intaking. I know what you're gonna say with the exhausting. Um, I've tried that, but right now with it intaking and like it immediately hitting my legs, that feels just a lot better in the immediate situation. Okay. Nick, what are the pros and cons of the 4-piece disco versus 2-piece disco with fleet deflector and competitive impulse? So typically, when people run more than 2-piece disco, it's usually going to be 3-piece. The 3-piece mycelial lightning can do quite a bit of damage on AOE based builds that are hitting lots of targets, and especially that are able to get through content very quickly. So the the 2-piece disco's there for the survivability. The 3-piece is because you're going for mycelial lightning. And at that point, it is, what is more beneficial to you? The the crit chance and the engine's there, or that mycelial lightning. There's a decision to make there. What is this notification I have? Nick, do you know I'm live? John, yeah. Um, so I didn't fully answer this question. 4-piece disco versus 2-piece. If you're doing 3-piece, it's a question then of are you dropping the deflector or the engines typically. And for like really high end stuff, we drop both the deflector and the engines. We do disco, deflector, engines, and shield plus the Tholian core for the very extreme high end runs. Already answered that. The Eisenberg again, GPL. Put it in there for a very small amount. Night Owl 2:15 a.m. schedule. I know. Pretty easy to get a million GPL. Yeah, it's basically a million EC. The new set, I think the new set is good for a variety of play styles. The shield probably is going to be interesting for some tank builds. Some DPS builds might be able to benefit from it also. The 3-piece set is more going to be for supports. The Battle of Streams in the left corner, Trisander, and in the other corner, the Casual of Sabs, the OG of content. Oh no. It's good afternoon in this neck of the woods. Yeah, I was just talking to the Nicholas. Nice to watch you with a fresh cup of coffee. I thought about it. I'll be honest. I thought about starting another pot of coffee, but I'll just live without it for right now. Um, Mr. Flawless, I dare you to break 1 million DPS on ship with terrible layout and console. Um, I mean, we've already done 1 million with the tier 5, one of the tier 5 green ships. MB has done 1 million with the Malon battlecruiser, and I don't think they get much worse than the Malon, right? Phil, how's it going? I think in a supported environment, any T5 ship could be pushed up to 1 million. Um, but that's not, realistic for your everyday player. The APU looks like the Gould chip, the Gould Tatak. Also, Cheops typed in here before. Cheops, shouldn't you be asleep? Cheops, it is almost 3:30 in the morning for you. What are you doing up? ISC, what is your record there? Hold on. Okay, so Phil, look Hive. Okay, Phil, yeah, 1.88. Very nice. Basically 1.89. And if I look up infected, I mean they're close. I would say the issue with infected versus hive for like deeps chasing is that getting a team where you can get a high hive record is an easier task than infected. Hive is you're basically going in a straight line down the center with a bunch of stacks of fleet power network array on you. Um, with infected, it's more complicated. What time is this? I mean, it's almost 2:30 in the morning for me. I started my last stream just about 12 hours ago. What do I think the worst T6 Fed ship is? Now you narrowed that down to Fed because my initial thought would have been the Kabali Samsar, but you're gonna make me look up like what is the worst Fed ship? That's an interesting question, and I want to find out. Worst Fed ship so far. Okay, make a copy. I know drive is blinding. I would turn on dark mode, but it looks terrible with dark mode. So we'll just leave it. I mean, no, that's it gets a bit rough over here. I mean, I could still look at it. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, faction. Let's narrow this down to Federation. And we're gonna go for a ship that has as little taxiing as possible. Are there any that just have none? But those all have universal seats. Okay, so let's change this back down to 2. Yeah, it's yeah, 225 here. The Jupiter, historically I would say the Jupiter seems like a bit of a weaker ship. But I know Sizer's been getting some better results out of this recently with the with some carrier stuff. Like, I don't think this is a good ship. I mean, looking at it, I think the stats on it are very, very underwhelming. But I think that there are ways to approach ships like this in the current state of the game. Yeah, I mean, a max of a lieutenant universal there. That narrows it down to some very underwhelming ships. I mean, the Parliament I still think is a weaker ship. I mean, it's not the worst in this list though. Um, the fleet Cardanus, that's the fleet Baron, right? Let me look at the full bridge officer setups here. Um, I mean, looking at like the Concorde and the Geneva, those are pretty damn weak right there. Um, the Geneva's not as bad, but that Concorde, like you've got the Commander Inge with command, Lieutenant Commander Inge, and then Lieutenant Uni and Lieutenant Attack. So, I mean, there are ships here that have fewer attack options, but I think, on the cruiser side, that by far is going to be one of the weakest options out there. Running Type 7s help the Jupiter. Yeah, the thing with the Jupiter, and I don't know if Sizer's talked about this over. Let me see here. Let me search Jupiter. I just know that Sizer's had some good results, and she did explicitly mention the Jupiter as being something that surprisingly she was getting some interesting results with. Um, yeah, so basically what Sizer was saying here with the Jupiter was because OSS, you can use OSS to buff up Fleet Power Network Array, which is then going to enable you to give your pets more haste. So I don't think you'd use Type 7s with it. I think if you're using the Jupiter as a carrier platform, you're going heavy into boosting the carrier or boosting up the pets. The Grissom, yeah, I mean the Grissom, the Grissom, if you're using that, you're not likely going to be using it as a weapons-based platform. Yeah, there's a few non-full spec fleet ships that are not great. Yeah, the Baron I know has always been a popular like budget entry level tank platform. Checking the late night exchange to see if anyone is so tired they forgot some zeros on a ship. I don't even bother chasing that because I know that there's exchange bots out there that will automatically snag those up. I beg Deca make Terran version of Jupiter, give it a proper ship class, dreadnought carrier. Yeah. Terran Emperor, very nice. Yeah, the Terran Acheron, to be honest with you, I almost burned my event campaign on one just to play around with it. In the end, I went for the Con E3, as you guys saw in the video, just because I needed the console off that for my SOB character. But if I hadn't went for that, I probably would have went for the Terran Acheron. What's my favorite ship visually? I've always been a fan of the Sovereign. The T6 Excelsior non-legendary. Um, that's not actually on this list, but yeah, that is a fairly limited ship. It always has been. Why? Okay, so let's take a look at that. If I recall, the issue with the Malachowski, which is the fleet version of the Clark, the issue with that is, yeah, it doesn't have the threat cruiser command. I mean, I agree. I personally I like the Malakowski more. We used to use that as a tort platform. I think that that is a funner ship to fly, but I think from a pure like entry level tanking, perception there. I can't English right now. From an entry level point of view, perception, the Fleet Cardenas, the Brawn just is a stronger initial offering. Yeah, I mean, I think the Lamar is still a bit far out. Like I said in the Q&A stream, about 12 hours ago, I I fully oh, that was a terrible sound with the chair there. I fully expect uh a lower decks edition of some sort before we get the Lamar. That chair squeaked at the worst time possible. Hope it will be 5-3 with some temporal and intel seating. I feel like it's most likely going to be a science spearhead. Is that spreadsheet available to use? Yeah, absolutely. So this is Fleffel's sortable, filterable ship list. You just have to go to File, make a copy. So File, make a copy when you go to that link, and then get a copy of that over to your Google Drive. The chair, right? I think before we get another ship with a 3-5 layout, there needs to be some serious work done to buff up mines. I think giving us a 3-5 layout without also going in and buffing mines up would just be a mistake on their part. Is it worth using the whole Discovery space set? You certainly can if you want. Are you talking the weapon set or deflector engine core shield? I mean, either way, you can do whatever you want. But I would recommend personally maxing out Disco at the 3-piece for deflector engine core shield. I think having the competitive rep engines on is still very beneficial for most players. You want a 5-5, no dual cannons, just pure fallen monster. Jamie, they are working on a new story episode. The news video I did earlier this week was right at the start, mentioned one of the voice actors, I can't remember her name, Michelle Specht, I think, something like that, um, had announced that she was doing some recordings for an upcoming story for Stowe. So, if you're on PC, September 12th is looking like the most likely release date for the next season. So I don't think you're going to be waiting too long. But I do just want to be clear, and I've said this a few times now. You guys know, well, we all have known for a while now that the development team is going through this transition. The devs over at Cryptic have been, slowly moving on to other opportunities as the years went on. And there's a new development team over at DECA that is getting familiar with the game, getting familiar with the game engine. So as we go into this upcoming season, do not be surprised if this is one of the lighter seasons that we've seen ever. We knew, going into this year, and I talked about this months and months ago, that there were going to be points throughout this year where content was going to be a bit lighter as the new team got familiar with everything. And I think we're definitely at that point. So just know this upcoming content release is very likely going to fall under that situation. It's not going to be as in depth as your seasons from a year or two ago, but just understand that they are still working on the game. That they are investing for the long term with this game, but because of the transitory period, we are going to have a lighter content drop, most likely, with what we see this upcoming month. Any idea why there's downtime on Tuesday? Before I get to that, I have a few other things here. Maybe there's a reason after all. Why don't we have any abilities for Constable? Madman, I talked about that on the stream yesterday, but that's, expanding specializations is one way that they could, continue to create new offers for T6 ships. Do I think they should get rid of faction restrictions on duty officers? Yes. A season for this game is a content drop that includes a new story mission, a new TFO, a new lockbox typically, and sometimes some other addition. The downtime on Tuesday, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, are they stealth dropping the new season on us all of a sudden? Then I wasn't thinking fully there. As SFC and Stargate pointed out to me, last year, ahead of the season that we got in the fall, Cryptic had pushed out the new code branch for the game ahead of time to get most of the download already on the player side without overloading the servers on launch day. So what this upcoming patch is for is basically just to preload some of the background stuff for the upcoming season, so that when the season does drop on, or I think around September 12th, that there's less needing to be downloaded at that time. They're splitting up the download basically, so there's less strain on the server. And again, this upcoming Tuesday patch, the pre-patch that we're seeing, that's just the groundwork for the new season. The events are back to back, yeah. But the events, events require a lot of engagement on the player side, but on their part, especially when they're rerunning events that they've done in the past, it's the work with it is updating the text, putting in the new item, designing the new item. It's not the same workload as making a story mission. The Dauntless 2 trait's been broken for a long time. I don't know if it's ever going to be fixed. We never even got acknowledgement on whether or not the issues with it were intended or not. Whatever lockbox ship we will get will probably be pretty underwhelming. And I'm ready to wrap up the current storyline. The current storyline is going to continue going on for a while. They've said that it's going to continue through the 15th anniversary, right? So, and as for the lockbox ship, we'll see if it ends up being underwhelming. So much engagement, it's causing burnout? Yeah, absolutely. I know that there's a lot of people frustrated with the number of events. Elite phaser rifle, still no sound, and my TNG ground phasers from last year's bundle still fire off center. I haven't even played the most recent story mission, to be honest. You guys know I don't play this game for the story missions. But the story mission that came out with the spring release, I haven't played it. I figure if I'm going to play through the story missions, I like to do them all in one sitting, so I can understand and just, follow the story from its start to its conclusion. And again, in general, I am in this weird spot where my focus in the game is definitely a bit different from your average player. I focus more on the end game side, flying ships around. Steve-O, thank you for the sub over on Twitch, much appreciated. But I focus on the end game side, and the story side, it hasn't appealed to me in a long time. Gary, no. You will earn a perk point, and it will then immediately take that perk point from you. Most of the premium ships we've gotten haven't been very good. I think the Credence has been the only good lockbox ship this year, but I'm starting to get burnt out. Yeah. The Credence certainly has been the standout addition. I think the Heroian Predator, like it had potential. It had potential. If they listen to the feedback they've gotten, I think it still has some potential if they adjust some stuff. But the Credence definitely is the overall winner so far of the year. Did I ever do that Fed Human Sci free-to-play story run through that Nick was teasing you to do a few months ago? No. I have been doing the free-to-play Beam Overload Engineer, on some story streams, but haven't done those recently just because I just had some other stuff to get taken care of. One last deadline I need to keep track of. Thank you. Yeah, I think the lack of a T6 Apex is a bit underwhelming. Yeah, no problem, Gary. But yeah, the Heroian Predator. So I actually picked one up. I'll swap to it as soon as this loads. This is a phaser setup I was messing around with on the Delcina. The engineering console's here. This is because it's in my prep phase loadout. For the high-end DPS runs, we've been exploring console swapping, where we'll have some consoles on, we hit during prep phase, and then we swap off to a different loadout that doesn't have them on when we're actually going into the run. Do I think we will get a legendary bundle this year? If we're going to, I have literally heard nothing. I have heard absolutely nothing about a new legendary bundle. Yeah, the Heroian, again, it's not the best ship ever, but it's fun to fly around. The experimental weapon it comes with is not good. The console it has, which I do have here, Field of Prey. So the issue with this console that I found is that it doesn't benefit from the Voven. Mr. Flawless, I don't know what the intentions are of the new systems designers. But I would imagine that with DECA, with there being new systems people, that they're going to have new ideas for things, and at some point I would imagine that they're going to want to go back through and look at some of the old things that Cryptic messed around with back in the day and see if they can do some stuff better. I think it's just a matter of needing to be patient to see what they can cook up. That's a very creative name for the ship. So, I get a lot of comments about that with like my bridge officers too. The reason that I have my ships named after what they are is just simply for the fact of how many damn ships I have. I've got so many ships that it got to a point where for me to be able to quickly find them, it just was easiest if I could just name them what they are. Legendary bundle with the Andorian Vulcan Tellarate. Yeah. That'd be really cool. But yeah, Mr. Flawless, I think they're gonna do some interesting things. I mean, look at the Vovin. You know, that was some interesting new things right there. I think we just gotta be patient and wait to see what they do. Capro, how's it going? I mean, I did sleep at like immediately after the stream I did earlier. I had just a really bad headache and just took some Tylenol and then I crashed. Like unlocking locked consoles? Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah. You know, I want to see, do I have Uncon on here? Yes, I do. Okay. So I know the Vovin console wasn't impacting the Field of Prey, but I want to see, does Uncon impact its cooldown? Am I properly hydrated? I've been drinking lots of water. Lots and lots of water. It's really warm in here.
The recent conflict at Jupiter Station brought up a number of tactical concerns.
Casual naps are good.
The recent conflict...
Enemy ships warping in near Projection Station Alpha! We have multiple hull breaches and our...
Containment breach! Evacuating all personnel!
Hull is buckling. The Picard is dead in space.
Uncon does affect it. Okay, so I will show that here in just a few seconds. I'm going to take a look here. Unconventional systems is on. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, I just hit a bunch of uncon procs and it's still there. Okay. So neither uncon or Vovin impact the cooldown of it. Which is unfortunate. I mean, between the two, I'd go complex. Like, for what impact you're going to have for a build, like, if you're willing to do a plasma setup, complex plasma fires is amazing. Sorry, I was just looking at something. You can't sleep anymore either? Dan, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, I slept right after that stream. So. One more hanger bay on some carriers? Yeah, I mean, I would pick up the Gorn Hunter if you're willing to do the plasma setup. I think if you're doing a do build and you're doing plasma, the Gorn Hunter just makes sense between the two. Yeah, I mean, this Hirogen model, it's pretty good detail on it. I mean, it's a good ship. It's a pilot, you know, it's a pilot escort. So you know what you're getting with it. But it is really fun. Yes, Elpatron, Merc Worker's entire value to me is entirely from the Universal Console slot. If it weren't for that console slot, I would not be using Merrick Worker. Yeah, I'm still hoping Mirror Warship or Crossfield Refit. Either of those hitting the mud store sometime, you know, in the next couple of months or next year or so would be amazing. Never realized it looked like an exocomp. Oh yeah, it sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, but it's good detail. Yeah, Miracle Worker is the worst secondary spec. Absolutely agree. Let's do some content. By content, I mean the Borg TFO because that's the best content. Omega marks. These are the only TFOs that matter. Sarbamba, I would say for that, just whatever your primary and secondary spec is going to be, you know, just focus on getting them filled out. Intel Temporal generally are going to be probably the two most valuable for most builds. Like you get Intel primary, Temp secondary, and I mean you'll be set. That'll do fine in space or ground. Hope we get another Breen ship for Christmas event. I have a suspicion on the on what I think the Christmas ship is going to be. And I think it's going to be like another just out there random ship, like what we saw with the Temerian last year, where it was just something completely random. Have I stopped using the Maelstrom? For my really high DPS loadouts, I have stopped using the Maelstrom because when I'm building for ships, I primarily focus on like the absolute bleeding edge, like really fast 20-30 second runs. And in that environment, the Maelstrom is too slow. If you're not in that environment, Maelstrom still has value. Haircut when? Not soon enough. Terran Emperor, you know, just wait. We don't know what the next Muds bundle is going to be, and I think that we're not that far off from getting another Muds bundle. Like, when did they do them last year? Like, you've got the lower decks season, you know, final season coming up, where we've got a very poor selling Muds bundle right now. Like, I don't think we're that far off from another Muds bundle. So the question is it going to be disco themed like every other bundle this year has been? Or is it going to be something else? Okay, I'm going to do public queue for Infected the Conduit Elite. I'm going to beam down to ground. So whenever you're doing Infected especially, or any space TFOs, remember that you will load in faster if you load in from ground, because there's less animation time. And there be the pop. When console will get a lobby sale? When you guys get the Herogen Predator. So they did actually announce that right on the Herogen Predator blog when that's going to be dropping on console. Wasn't it like September 22nd or something like that? But whenever they said the Herogen drops on console, you'll get a key and lobby sale alongside that. I'm guessing a final disco that does stuff like Janeway and Kirk, maybe even the Emerald Chain, in addition to the Refit Crossfield. That would be a pretty interesting bundle. They haven't done a 4-ship Muds bundle in a while, though. I feel like if they did that, Kirk, Janeway, and the Refit Crossfield would probably make the most sense. But, I mean, the alternative is they can capitalize on Lower Decks. You know, Lower Decks final season, give us a Lower Decks Muds bundle. Give us the California, Parliament, Cheval, and account-wide unlock. The Texas is too new to go into a Muds bundle. But, I mean, that in there would be good, too.
situation is grim.
I appreciate the friendship stacks, and I hit that way too early. Not the Parliament, not the California. You're just a hater, Nicholas.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Scanning the nanite transfer. Done. Additional data is available.
Shields have failed. Core shields failing. Rear shields failing.
What the hell is that beer doing there? This is horrible on my part already.
Stop them.
Rear shields failing. Shields failing. Right shield failing.
Oh no, turn. Nick, the robot code's failing.
Core shields failing. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
Oh, there's an EPG in here too. No.
Core shields failing. Hull integrity below 75%.
Yeah, that thing's dead. My piloting is just absolutely atrocious right now. Nick's over there probably like, Spencer, you doing okay? Thank you. Phil, thank you for the tank in there. Thought I was gonna flank the Star Group. Oh no. Yeah, that was a bit rough. My left right, I'm so used to doing like splits, I am not used to flying LR anymore. That was horrible. Former con, no, I haven't been trying like to do infected or anything like that. Infected advanced. Yeah, I appreciate it, Phil. Have I even slept yet? Yeah, I slept like 4 or 5 hours. Right after that stream. Tom, I did sleep. I need more though. What I need is for it to not be. Let me change it back to Celsius. It's 28.6 Celsius in here, or in Fahrenheit or freedom units, 83.5. I need it to not be like that. Aaron Giorgio is a bridge officer. Nick, the fact that you'd even say that tells me that what I did was absolutely horrid. What is the Nova one? Nick Locarno's ship, huh? Nick, see you around, man. Need more? I know. 1.9. Am I going to make a 2024 yearly event recommendation video? I mean, I did the premium ships. Nova 1? I don't know what the ship would be. I can't open the door right now. That's not an option for me at the moment. I think the chair needs some WD-40. I promise that was the chair. Don't I have a MUDs bundle review incoming? I've got a few projects that I want to get worked on that I just haven't been able to the past few days. Um, yeah. I think we have enough pilot ships. I've got AC. The AC is on. It is also currently 66 degrees outside. Let's take a look at that parse. The window is open. What was the total combat time? 76 seconds. Anything over a minute makes me feel bad. Oh, I didn't even put Credence console back on. Plasma Incendiary. Oh, I mean, look at it there. It was really underperforming for that. Really underperforming. That's the worst I've seen from that experimental weapon in ages. Mycelio did bad. Resonant Shock. Just everything other like did bad. Tholian Warp Crystal detonate 14k. Warp Core, it is currently 3 a.m. There is a window open. There is a fan in the window. Move to Alaska. You know how much it costs to get things shipped up there? I wouldn't mind moving to like Washington though. Pacific Northwest has always appealed to me. Yeah. Do I need a water cooling block for the chair now? I mean, I've got enough water cooling supplies to do that. I've got enough radiators, tubing, fittings laying around. I could probably do another water cooling build without buying anything new, which is pretty sad. Probably West Washington. The AC barely works back in this room, unfortunately. They make water cooled chairs. I feel like I need to look at one. Put the computer outside. If I tried to hang this computer out the window, it would like this computer weighs like 100 pounds because of the case and all the water cooling in it. Yeah, I think West Washington State. Um, Menu, you are debating between D7. So the thing with the D7 is if you're looking to get it for more than one character, wait for that Muds bundle to pop back up. I know that they're making us wait, and it's a stupidly long time for the next Muds bundle sale. But if you want that for multiple characters, just wait for that bundle. Between the Shrike and the Credence, that really depends on what you're wanting to do. But personally, I feel like the Credence would be the winner to me right now. Is there a way to get Fleet Power Network Array up again at 35 seconds as a tank? Maybe with enough uncon, but I don't know if that would be doable for the friendship. Yeah, the Shrike has a trait that I keep seeing someone comment is not stacking. The tooltip or the buff icon for it doesn't show stacks, but the damage from it does stack up. Last I saw. Yeah, the Credence is good. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get it up much faster than that. Unfortunately, because the apartment does have central air, the landlord will not let me do a portable AC unit. Unless the main AC is down, then they would let me do that as a temporary workaround. But given that the AC is working, they will not allow it. "42 seconds was kind of my best. Okay, let's do another TFO. I'm going to swap to a phaser loadout. Let's see if the hexes do a little bit better for me. So let me see here. I don't think my phaser loadout has all the uncons on it, or no, it doesn't. No, it's got a few. Does it actually have uncon slotted? No, it doesn't. Do they have a camera on my window? No, they do not. But they regularly are doing work on that side of the building, so they would see it. Is the console set from Legendary Akira worth using? Not meta, but it's fun. ISC is still going to be on cooldown, so let's do something else. You know, we were talking about Hive. Hell, let's give Hive a go. Hive Onslaught Elite public queue. I'm going to head to ground here quick. I think, Giant Dutch Viking, that there certainly has been an uptick in interest again. Not as many as 2 to 3 years ago. But there definitely seems to be quite a few people keen on seeing how far they can push things up, but you know, most people are still limited to left rights. The issue with split runs is there was a perception out there that split runs were an immediate answer to boost someone up, and that's not the case. There were some people pushing the idea that all that they needed to do to get to like 2 or 3 million was to do a split run. And the reality is because of how the dynamics in split runs are, where the run has to be really fast, if the person going into the run is not already capable of doing like 2 mil, 2.5 in a left right, they're basically going to get a lower result in the split. So there was a lot of attention going to, you know, again, to the really high-end split runs, but the reality is because of the dynamics, they're not the boost for most people that most people are expecting them to be.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
Core shield failing. Rear shield failing. Console shield has failed.
Good to see more people levitating towards it, yeah. I couldn't see which way I was pointing. Oh no.
Your efforts are futile.
Triz, thank you for the raid, man. Hope you had a good
And
stream.
I will claim another.
Core shield failing.
Ah, feedback got me. That damned feedback pulse. Trizio, you're coming in to see me do low deeps.
This is not the end.
What was the crazy lightning covering the screen there for a moment? I would imagine that was Phil using the friendship console on me. The friendship console will cause that blue lightning. But yeah, I mean,
am
that was 1.4
perfection.
with a phaser
I
loadout.
am Borg.
It's your lack of not using a sub-nuke beam. Terrible. How'd your stream go, Triz? Robert, Evo, Valerie? Yeah, my sleep schedule is just screwed right now. Okay, let's see here. I mean, the Hex is still a little bit better than the Gorn one did for me, but still nothing stellar. Dan, how's it going? Yeah, 1.4 low deeps. Exactly. The thing is too is when we say that, when we talk about like we joke about a million being low deeps, and it is somewhat of a joke, but it's also sometimes like we're actually sort of being serious when we say like a million's disappointing. Just a different perspective on it. Mark the Chief, how's it going? Mycelial is lower than I expected on that. Yeah, Mycelial really does better in a time compressed environment. Mycelial Lightning, that was a garbage result for it. 1.7k DPS, absolutely garbage. And if you compare that to what it does in like the record runs, let's take a look at the current one. Like here, you can see Mycelial Lightning did 369k, and we talk about the difference in performance level for some of these abilities between your actual like average day-to-day runs, versus the really highly coordinated supported stuff. And you can see it looking at some of those abilities. Like some of these abilities, if you're able to compress the time down fast enough, they can perform exceptionally well. But if the content is a bit longer, a bit closer to what most people are going to experience, some of the stuff that really excels at a very high level, at a record setting level, it doesn't, just because it performs well there doesn't mean it's going to perform well, at other levels. Got to get those protonic polarons for low deeps. 1 mil in the full named run is low deeps. 1 mil in the pug isn't. Yeah. The billionaires cry trillionaires. Pretty cool. You have chat from both streams showing up on screen. Yeah. I use Restream for the chat explicitly. But for actually streaming, I'm not streaming to Restream. I've got my main OBS set to go to YouTube, and then I'm using the multiple output plugin. I think it's like multi RTMPS on GitHub. I am using that with a separate toggle to stream over to Twitch. I don't know, Lars. Inflation even hit DPS million. Yeah, exactly. Like Tom's saying here, Mycelial is hitting the target upon your first hit. So, in a time compressed environment, it does well. But outside of that, in longer duration stuff, it's not optimal. The YouTube one has much better stream quality. Yes. Yeah, the YouTube stream is, let me see. Yeah, the YouTube stream is like twice the bitrate. Yeah, I mean, that is true, Lars. Yes, right now it's all still like the richest people are hundreds of billions, right? Yeah, YouTube has the ability to push higher streaming levels. Like I could go stream 4K on YouTube, do like 50 megabit rate, but on Twitch I'm limited to I could do whatever resolution on Twitch, but I'm limited to like 6 or 7 megs. Do I know that violent dampening wave works for Nuke and the Queen? I did not know that. I haven't used that. Not used it in a long time. When we were using the Sona ships for some support stuff back in the day, I did use the console off of one of the Sona ships to help take the buffs off the Queen. I don't know at that point. I think at that point, I would probably go with the more traditional colony deflector. Because if the HP was 20 times, that'd make things much longer. The issue with T6 coupons for Klingon ships is that like every good Klingon ship is either lockbox promo or legendary. Like when you're actually looking at the ships you can get for 3,000 Zen in the Zen store, the Klingons don't have many options. Not a lot of blue in that character list. I mean, my original main was a Fed Psi, and then a couple years in, I saw the light and saw just how biased this game is towards tactical. So I made the switch over from a Psi to attack, and I never looked back. I set up like one engineer for ground stuff back in the day, and then that was pretty much it. Like I always for this the way that I play the game, with that DPS min max focus, the engineer career is like the weakest thing that exists in this game. Their healing doesn't matter because attack player can get stuff that heals based on outgoing damage output. So attack doing more damage can end up having more heals than an engineer player. The power levels are like the only thing that engineers have an advantage with, and in a high level environment, they can cast EPS power transfer onto another player. So, chasing Deeps records, I can get that buff from an engineer player without needing to be an engineer player. Yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, absolutely. I need an engineer on the team, but I don't have to have an engineer character for me there. I mean, if I ever set up a support Eng, I would obviously need one, but my role in those high-end DPS runs is generally on like side DPS. Trees. I mean, I think science is the second best career for space. I think if I was setting up a tank for day-to-day gameplay, I'd put it on a Psi. I feel like the utility they have for a team is more beneficial than what an engineer has, and you don't necessarily need the damage output that attack has just for day-to-day tanking. It certainly doesn't hurt, but I think having like the sub nuke, and the other utility that Psy has, for most people, is going to be a bit more beneficial. What would I do to bring Psy caps, ninja caps in line with tack? To be honest with you, Tom, I think the way I've looked at this recently, and this pretty much erodes the difference between the classes, but rather than just go out and make drastic changes there, I think the way that I would approach it right now is strip all of the captain abilities away from each career and put them in as like traits that you can go in and slot. So you could mix and match your psi, tac, ninja abilities. I think given just how much of a sandbox this game is, and given that we're probably not going to see a career change token, taking those abilities out and putting them in a trait system where you just can mix and match them, I think that'd probably be more beneficial. But yeah, career change token to make them tack. I mean, I think that's a great idea too. But I just think letting the mixing and matching of the abilities happen would just probably just be the best solution. Do that with all traits. Yeah, I mean that there's not that many traits, but I just feel like that would probably be the best long-term solution. And then also, like I said, it removes the ability or removes the need for them to do a career change token when you can just effectively go in and change your career abilities whenever. Is there any way of telling when to use subnuke? Generally, you want to look at the buff icons on your enemy. So if you're going up against the queen in HSE, you'd want to wait for the blue icon showing the feedback pulse. And when you see that feedback pulse icon pop up, you hit subnuke as soon as you can. Kidder Alliance rep. Yeah, I think another reputation would be good for them to do. And like I said in the video yesterday or the stream, um, new specializations. We were talking in that stream yesterday about ways that they could expand tier 6 ships without introducing tier 7. New specializations is one way. Doing universal spec seats, doing dual, just different levels of spec combinations that they haven't explored already, like dual commander with 2 different specs on each commander. Mixing and matching like that could be interesting. We also haven't seen a 3 spec ship yet, other than there was one ship they put in that was briefly bugged with 3 specs, but they quickly fixed that. Good night. Thank you for the follow there over on the Twitch. Terran Empire faction. We're not going to see another faction anytime soon. Kale said that on one of the last 10 forwards for Stone, that the idea of new factions is pretty. It's a pretty dead idea right now. And when it comes to the Terran Empire, I believe the thing that Kale explicitly said too was what Cryptic found was that a lot of people said that they wanted to play, for the bad guy faction, but in reality, when they actually put that offer out there, most people just wanted to play for the good guys. And I mean, you see that in Stowe. Look at how many people explicitly just play Fed. A new rep and new spec would be good. Spencer said Stowe's getting a new rep. Terrible. Val, well, you're only fed. Meanwhile, you look at my account, and almost every character on my account's KDF. I do have fed characters, but overwhelmingly, most of the characters on my account are KDF. Most of them are just there for storage and for doing contraband. I don't have a build on most of these. If I just choose a random numbered character here, it's in a Ferengi event ship from back in the day. Nicholas, thank you for the ultra casual membership. Very much appreciated. Haircut when? Dude, I'm about ready to just get the weed whacker. I'm completely off track, but yeah, most of my characters on this account, which is my main account, they're all set up with basically nothing. They just stand as a security officer on Kronos, and their entire purpose in life is contraband turn-ins. Nicholas with the 50 gifted memberships. Damn, man. I appreciate that. Trizio, thank you for stopping by, man. Get some sleep. Nicholas, again, man, very much appreciated. For anyone over on Twitch confused where these other messages are, I am multi-streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So we have 47 on the Twitch and another 96 on the YouTube right now. Again, Nicholas, thank you for all of the gifted. Did Nick sell his pet kangaroo? He doesn't want to talk about that. That was a very, very hard decision for him. Again, Nicholas, thank you, man. Lots of notifications. Nick, thanks for stopping by, man. Just wanted to drop bombs. Hello, Hakeem. How's it going? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of notifications for a little bit. So, you know, we don't know what all the new season's going to have with it, but, you know, like I said, it is going to be most likely a lighter season than normal. So, you know, just temper expectations. But, you know, I would say if you're interested in potentially a new lower deck ship or a new Prodigy ship, again, we don't know yet if it's going to be the Lamar from Prodigy that got leaked, or if it's going to be a lower deck ship. I personally think the Prodigy ship, Lamar, will come out later this year, and I think we're about to get a lower deck ship. That's my expectation. So, regardless of what it is, you know, if you want to prepare, maybe just start getting some stuff put up on the exchange if you're going to go the EC route to get it. For me, my aim is over the next 12 days, or 11 days now, to get about $2 bill worth of stuff sold. Which is just, I mean, 2 weeks, basically like week and a half. That's plenty of time. Superior Cannon training was at K7? Yes. Yepers. That's a lot of gifts indeed. Oof. Sorry to hear. Is contraband farming worth it? I mean, that is a good way for you to either get lithium or to get EC. You can either sell the contraband or you can use it yourself. That's one of the perks of going with the KDF side is you can do the marauding missions in sector space and farm contraband. And I used to be a very free-to-play focused player. So me making all these KDF characters, one of the secondary perks was that if I wanted to farm contraband, I could use most of the characters on my account, take them up into sector space, and I could farm contraband. So, absolutely, that is still, to this day, an extremely viable way to go. Flame Dweller, howdy to you as well, and thank you, I'm glad to help. Mark the Chief, your money's on the Lamar. My money's on the lower decks, but I mean, it certainly could go either way. Dan, thank you for the follow or the sub over on the Twitch. Much appreciated. When am I doing another giveaway? I haven't decided yet. I don't know what to expect. Robert, good night. Thanks for stopping by. For a Styx tank main, what would I suggest for the campaign premium ship choice to help with that? You know, if you're looking for another tank platform, the Friendship, a lot of Styx players have moved over to the Friendship for the second hangar bay, because that's a second hangar bay of Type 7s. But if you're looking to stick with the Styx, you know, if you're looking to make that like a, you know, really focus it on being a heavy tank, you could do the Sagan command cruiser. The trade on that is going to basically allow you to have damn near a really high uptime on reverse shield polarity. You just have to slot a feedback pulse to do it. But yeah, the Friendship is a big one. Let me... Yeah, the trade on the Friendship is insane for support builds, absolutely. What am I trying to do here? I was going to pull up the Sagan trait. Reverberant Shielding. So when you activate Feedback Pulse, it gives you the equivalent rank of RSP. When you activate RSP, it gives you the equivalent rank of Feedback Pulse. The Sagan is premium. Yeah, the Sagan Command Cruiser, that's a premium option if you're looking to stick with the sticks. But if you're looking for the newer tank platform that a lot of people have moved over to, the Friendship would definitely be worth considering. Yeah, the Friendship definitely has a lot of appeal right now. That is a lot of gifted memberships. It is still going. Hopefully that's not too loud. Is it too loud for you guys? Sagging command cruiser. You really want to get the Friendship over plasma fires? I just constantly butcher his name. Is there a ship with experimental weapons and hangar pets? The Dalkina. The Dalkina has an experimental weapon slot and a hangar bay. There are some other strike wing escorts out there. The Dalkina, though, is, in my opinion, the best platform you're going to have that has an experimental weapon and hangar bay. I was here for 100 gifted subs today and dodged them all. You could certainly do a pet build on the Friendship. I think if you're looking to do pure pets, there might be other options you might also consider. You know, you're not going to be able to really do frigate pets on the Friendship. So if you're doing a full pet focus build where you're trying to maximize pet damage, you're going to be looking at Toadouge, Valkyrie, the Valor. I can't English. I'm gonna have a comment. I'm gonna have a comment. Someone complaining about how I said the Sagan Command Cruiser, and someone's gonna complain about how I said Valor. The Norway is close too for budget. Yeah, like what Phil said, the Norway is definitely the closest budget option of, out there for the Delkina. But the Delkina does still have a lead over it. It's going to take them a while to beat the Delkina, I think, because you basically have to do the Delkina as is, just with a Merrick worker instead of command. I have not seen that music video. You bought the Gorn Raider? Nice. Hope you're enjoying it. From what I recall, the Yukawa frigates are some of the worst in the game. Terrible. I can't look at it on stream, but I will make sure to get that at least searched up. Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing a SAB based carrier build, the Typhon trade is a must have, absolutely. Just find some clip where Carl Sagan introduces himself, imitate that, and then you can say that's how he pronounced his name. What is my favorite Star Trek show and why is it DS9? I think I've said in the past that it's DS9. DS9 just for how transformative it was for the Federation. Like I think I did talked about this in a Q&A video a long time ago. But with DS9, it was very interesting to follow the transformation of the Federation from, what we saw them as, just being explorers to really shifting gears and going into that war footing. That was always very interesting. The new patch is on Tribble for the new code branch. There's nothing new over there visible as far as I'm aware. It's just the new code branch to lay the groundwork for the upcoming season. If I made a tier list for the Juggernauts, which one would be asked? VOD War Jug. That is by far the best Juggernaut so far. Tom, if I recall, like the cap is around negative. Isn't it like negative 390 something? It's basically negative 400. But yeah, there's diminishing returns on debuff. Favorite Star Trek movie? I mean, the obvious answer there is First Contact. Who the hell doesn't love First Contact? If we're talking, like TOS movies, The Voyage Home, it's pretty iconic. The Undiscovered Country, both great movies. For TNG, I mean, I also did like Nemesis a bit, but that's me and my Romulan bias. I like seeing the Mo guy, the scimitar. Lem, is what the hell are you still doing awake, Lem? Aw, Jug, you got to get out of the starship to push to make it move. Yeah, I think Voyager's good. Um, I think Voyager was one of the first series where I was able to like actually go in, watch it from beginning to end. And the way that I initially watched Voyager, I talked about this also on a Q&A, was here on YouTube. I was going in, and this was, I think, late 2000s, early 2010s. Back when videos were forced to be under 10 minutes, like they could not be longer than that. People had uploaded each of the episodes, and it was like they've just broken up into like 5 or 6 parts for each episode. So I was going through and watching Voyager like that. A bit rough, but and the quality sucked. I mean, to be fair, the quality in general for DS9 and Voyager, it ain't HD. But the quality definitely was worse than standard. Do I love the Klingon theme song? Oh no. Generations is good. I mean, I'm a fan of most of the Star Trek movies. I think there's interesting values to most of them. I need to, I need to sit down and actually watch all of TOS. I haven't. Like TOS, the animated series, I'm never gonna watch. I'm not interested in that. But TOS and Prodigy, I really do need to just sit down and watch through both of them. Lars, thanks for stopping by. Never listened to AM radio. I mean, I did. I grew up in rural Iowa. There was AM radio. Year of Hell. Have I watched all the new Trek shows? All but Prodigy. Let's do one more Infected. I want to swap over to... We talked about the Dalkina. I'll bring out a Phaser Dalkina. I'll do this run here with the Dalkina, and then I'm gonna cut the stream off. Okay. Public queue Infected, the Conduit Elite. Here we go. In the eyes of a DPS player, this and Hive are the only two TFOs that exist. Yeah, I think there's appeal to the new shield. I haven't really tested it myself yet. I need to get a build together for it. But what I'm seeing the recommendations are is to re-roll it to full regen, and then cap regen for the epic mod.
The situation is grim. All attempts.
I already messed up my timings. It's fine. Am I looking forward to Q's Winter Wonderland? Yeah. The activity boost we get from that is always really good.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Scanning the nanite transformer. Done. Additional data is available.
Target's shield has failed.
The nanite probes can repair the transformers. Stop them.
Core shield failing.
Slow.
Core shield failing. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing. This shield failing. Target's shield has failed.
This is bad for me. Something loose behind me.
Target's shield has failed.
Oh, yeah, someone pushed everything like super far away. I don't know if someone used DLC or something that like caused everything to go really far apart. Yeah, this looks like someone hit DLC at a bad time.
When we will begin assimilating our culture and technology.
Yeah. If someone uses delayed overload cascade at the wrong time, it will just screw up a run. The green lightning was a combo of the friendship console being applied to me. The friendship console has to be applied onto you by a teammate. You cannot cast it on yourself. And then the other part would have been the mycelial lightning from the Discovery 3-piece. But yeah, I think most of that would have been friendship console. The old faithful Delkina, I mean, that was almost 2 mil with the phaser setup prior to all that mess at the end. If you're on console, the 5th event should be popping up here, I think, this month. Later in September. And then I would expect the 6th and final event for console to arrive in January. If you're on PC, we're on the 5th event right now, and the 6th one should pop up in November. Yeah, crit D damage times 4 is... Yeah, crit D damage times 4 is usually the way to go for modifiers, yeah. The crit D... So the difference between crit D and damage is crit D is going to fall into your Cat 2 damage, which does typically have quite a bit going on with it. And the value of crit D is going to be based on what your crit chance is. So if you're at 100% crit chance and you have something giving you 20% crit severity, that's 20% Cat 2. That is an equivalent damage buff to something that would say plus 20% bonus damage. It'd be, the exact same thing. If your crit chance is 50%, then that 20% crit severity is now only worth 10% bonus damage. And then when you look at damage in the formula, damage comes in after everything else. Damage is going to take all of your Cat 1 and Cat 2 that have been multiplied on each other and then give you an even larger buff. It's a final multiplier. That's why damage is so powerful on these really spec'd out builds, because we have so much Cat 1 on our builds, we have so much Cat 2 that the damage mods are able to just really take everything else we've worked on the build and amp it up. If you're a new player, crit D may still be the more viable option for you early on while you don't have a ton of damage sources. But long term, almost everyone, once you've developed your build, will probably want to be on crit D damage times 4. Nice. Yeah, which I guess Tom did. I'll just explain in chat there too. Very nice, Phil. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Let's see how the phaser hexes did. And I want to actually, I'm going to pop that up in SCM because I need to figure out how to get this done here. I want to see what that looked like when the cube died. Let me do that quick here before I go. Okay, let's Control F, find kill line. There's the cube kill line. Let's trim everything else after that out. And if I take a look at that in the parser, I just want to get an idea here. Yeah, so when the cube died, I was at 2013. The Hexacannon's 261k. Them things are pretty damn good. KCB, I mean, I probably shouldn't have been running KCB there. I should have probably just had a normal turret on. That still did okay. The Pavin Beam with Resonant Shock did pretty damn well. Accumulating Phase Lance did its thing. The lithium performs a lot better in time compressed environments and your normal channel runs. Stuff that's over a minute long, it's not going to perform as well as what you see at the high end. But yeah, I mean, good results. That's phasers. That's not even doing the plasma stuff. 76 from Agony on the left side. Mycelial Lightning, yeah. Mycelial Lightning for content that is over 30 seconds isn't really worth it. Yeah, we have been seeing insane results from it, Tom, in really fast runs. Because it stacks. So when we use it in like the really high-end runs, we do have to work around it a little bit. So the timing that I've suggested for the team is we hit to the Credence console at 7 seconds on briefing timer. It's got 2-second activation. We don't launch any pets before it because the pets will absorb the stacks from teammates. So we get as many on the team to hit it alongside the DPSer at 7 seconds. At 5 seconds, we start launching pets, and then immediately you have someone hit the Jirac console so that we can get all of the Type 7 pets out in those 5 seconds. But yeah, look at this. Look at this right here. This is off my current seasonal record. Dilithium waste lace weaponry. I can't English. I am starting to get tired. What's the timestamp on this? 8:18, 23:54. I probably have this VOD, but you can see the number there. 8:18. Did it say 23:54? I bet. No, we're missing someone here. Oh no, that was some testing we were doing. Okay. What's the timestamp here? 8:18. No. I'm trying to find the VOD. Let's see here. So what we're doing too with these really high-end runs, we got a prep phase loadout that we'll use on the DPSer that's got ship of the line, any other buffs we can stack up during prep phase. and I also have enhanced induction coils and M6 on. These consoles will still provide their buff after they've been deslotted. So I hit them at 10 seconds and then swap loadouts. All crits on the lithium lace? Not all, but so much, yeah. So you see, I've just hit M6 and enhanced induction coils. Now I'm going to swap to my CSV loadout. As soon as I swap to the CSV loadout, I am starting to start my rotation. I think, yeah, you can see some of the credence consoles get activated. We were still figuring out timing, so these were a bit later on. But I do have... Let me see here. I have 2 stacks of it on me. Then I go in, do my thing. This was a fail run because something was still alive. Okay. Was it the next FOD then? Oh, no, this was the testing one. I guess I may have screwed up the recording for that. Or, no, I may have, I'm an idiot. I put it into a different folder because it was a record. Why do I not take advantage of flanking on the first pack? Because, it's combat time. Like, in ideal situations, like this starting group should be dead in 3 to 4 seconds. If I go and try to flank it, it's like, look at that right there, 3 seconds by opening 13 mil. So let me go back and find like the time there. You know, I start engaging here like 207 to 208, and this start is dead 211. I'm already moving to the side. This is also when I was trying the Achilles console. Like, the side's already dead. I'm going back to the center. Like, these runs are just absurdly fast. When the cube died, I'm just a smidge over 6, but the gateway was still alive. So I was actually at 6.3, but the gateway was still alive, so that added combat time, and then there was loose on the left side that hadn't yet been taken out. So, yeah, it's just combat time. Pre-buff friendship stacks. We usually start doing pre-buffing of friendship stacks right away. This is always our issue versus Spindle Channel's approach. No mere human can reach these numbers without having a bunch of people buying. Yeah, it is ridiculously expensive, Tom, because now for the high end, you need everyone to have the friendship on the support. Like, every support has to have friendship. That's just a core requirement. We need as many people as possible to have the credence. That's 2 lockbox ships per character for these runs. You know, that's like 2.5 to 3 billion EC. It's just a lot. Surprised that you guys are up. It is almost 6 p.m. here in Japan. Yeah, my sleep schedule's messed up. What is the name link for that one button spam bar program people use for STO keybinds? I do have a video going over how to set those up. If you look for keybinds on the channel, you should find it. Yeah, it's just extremely expensive at the very, very bleeding edge. So I can show you like point of view from side nuking here. So this was a run for Michi with the premonition. I think this is. I don't know if this was a completed run, but Michi has the current EPG record on ISE with the premonition. But with the friendship stacks, we're getting those out right away. I have a prep phase loadout that has more heals on it, so I can start getting stacks on the DPSer right away. And then I swap over to my loadout, and I'll just keep putting a heal on them or a console every 15-ish seconds just to make sure I'm maintaining my stacks. But you can see here the DPSer has 20 stacks of friendship on him. That's because for these really high-end runs, every single support, which at this level is almost always going to be in a Sulamon Silic because of the binding of the IFF, but we're all putting stacks of that trait on him. This might be one of them where I let Michi down. I don't remember. I let Michi down a few times. Oh yeah, this is the run where I screwed up. I put agony on the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. Far. So with the side nuking, basically just head on over to the side, take it out as fast as I possibly can. Hope the game cooperates. And once stuff is taken out, I'm going to try to get things grouped up. This one I screwed up, and with me scooting forward there, stuff got pretty far apart, but then I just dragged stuff over to the middle. I think this is Michi's premonition record. I was slow. I was really slow with what I needed to do there, but that's pretty much side nuking. Take out the side on your own, drag things to the center, or kill them. It's fun. Yeah, all spills work, yeah. Night. Yeah, it's bedtime. Thank you all for tuning into this really late night random stream. I'll do another stream next Saturday. If anything else happens throughout the week that's major, I'll probably just do a video on it. Yeah. How nice of you to deliver extra HP to the middle. That is what we tried to do. For the really fast runs, though, we just can't get there fast enough. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in. Who do we have on the Stowe side that I could potentially raid? There's literally nobody for Stowe. Okay. Well, to all of the Stowe viewers that are watching over on Twitch, I think Alt Lexington usually starts up, sometime around now, so keep an eye out for them. But I have nobody that I can raid in the Stowe category right now, so we're just going to end things there. Again, thank you to everyone tuned in. There goes the Twitch. Not on weekends. Oh, rip. And here goes the YouTube. See you all around.